If you're wondering why some people retire at a senior manager level at best while others make it to the VP, SVP, even C levels, like what's the difference? So for example, if you look at it in your company, the VP may be 45, 47 years old, but this manager would also be a 45, 47-year-old guy. What makes it different? So it's definitely not the amount of time that they spend. And for that, we need to understand the S-curve of your career growth. And basically, it's a very straightforward concept, right? When you get into a role, so on the X-axis, you have the time spent in the role, and y-axis is the amount of growth that you have in a role, right? And it usually follows an S curve. Initially, you start a new role and then you spend some time getting onboarded, getting feel for the role and everything, and then really the work starts, and then you start growing. And then you hit a plateau. Once you, for example, like if you're working on some sort of transformation, some sort of major delivery or product development, right? This is that phase. And then after that project is delivered, or after that big ask for the role is delivered, then you hit a plateau. Depending on the role, depending on the company you're in, depending on the industry you are in, the nature of like work you are in, the function you are in, maybe you are a data engineer versus a project manager, there will be different trajectories. So like different roles, different opportunities will have a different delta and different starting point. Because of different delta, for the same amount of time spent, you would reach at different levels of expertise or like ability or like your perceived value. That's why what happens is, if you are in a poor opportunity vehicle, then you don't grow as much. And then the next role that you move to, that will start from there. And it's like a chain of these S curves. And so your growth would be, for the same amount of time, you would only get to a certain level. Versus if you consistently pick great opportunities, you are able to achieve this delta. Right now, you are able to grow to exponentially high levels because your next role starts with your old level of growth, right? Now, one thing to watch out here for, so there's two extreme cases. One guy is a job hopper, the other guy is a stagnator, right? Typically, the problem with job hoppers, let's address that first, right? A lot of the time, people think that like, hey, if I keep moving, then it will take me to the exponential height. The right time to move is when you have delivered that ask. Here, like when you're just hitting to start to hit that plateau, and then you can't grow any further, is the right time to make the move. Now that move can be internal or it can be external. You don't have to move out necessarily, but generally speaking, if your current company cannot provide you the growth that you need, move out. There's no point in waiting. However, like what a lot of people do is like they hop careers right around here or right around here, like sooner than before the delivery, right? And if you do that, this is what we call as a slippery slope, because when you go out and you interact with other hiring managers, like when let's just say you are in this phase of your career and now you're looking for jobs, whenever like recruiters will see you or hiring managers will see you, they will discount this part. This is the slippery slope. So they would think that you are here. They just like, project is not delivered. If the product is not built, they will not count it. And so that's why you keep getting considered like as a relatively newbie. And that's why like people who job hop, they also like grow very slowly. Conversely, like people who are stagnating, and this is where things get interesting. You might say like, okay, I have reached this point, I can coast for a couple of years over here. It's a relatively chill job, and next job which I want to start, like I can start here and I still can leverage this level of growth 2 years, 3 years down the line. Well, that's not true, because, and here's the interesting bit, because you're in the tech job market, right? And the technology evolves as well. So as you're not simply stagnating, you're not just plateauing. It's not a straight line. It's not a level field. Your industry is also growing, right? So this y-axis is also growing. So that delta, so in that reference frame, while you're stagnating, you're actually kind of going down in your level of expertise. So that's why people who stagnate for too long, they can also not get out of that. So in that case, like, if it's going down, I'm sorry for the messy drawing, but like, let's just say here, let's draw another one, right? If it's not staying constant, if the reference frame is changing, this is going down. So if you're going down, then you might as well, like in a couple of years, reach back where you started, and the only way to get out would be to make a lateral move. And that's why that problem happens. So avoid both ends of the extreme. The best time to look for a job is when you have delivered the ask for the current role that you're in, and you can no longer find growth, then there's no point in stagnating, as well as there's no point in hopping jobs any sooner as well. So hope that makes sense, hope that helps you out, and all the best.